Christina here from City Bright Knits. If you haven't been here to join me before, I'm Christina. I do crochet design and have an Instagram account called City Bright Knits, and I want to take you along with me on this multiple part journey of me moving from London to New York City and talking about yarn stash and things that I am worried about on the move and new designs upcoming. So please join me. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm using this as a creative outlet to help me plan this move that's going to be moving from London to New York City, so moving different countries. I'm from the US. I lived in New York for 5 years pre-COVID, and then after COVID, my husband and I have kind of been up and moved in a few different places, including London. So I've been here for about 2.5 years, and it's been a great experience. It's truly bittersweet to leave. I've made a lot of nice friends in real life, as well as friends in the crochet community in the UK online. So I will really miss that, and I'm looking forward to just returning home and to being around things that I'm familiar with. So I want to use this as a second part to my moving series to talk to you about where my mind stage is at now. I know most everyone has experienced a move of some sort, as well as what to talk about with my yarn stash. I mean, my yarn stash in London is a mess. It's like shoved in a closet. Everything is in just like baggies. But when I was living before in California, I had a full craft room. I was so spoiled, and coming here in London, I just have like a craft closet. So I'm really looking forward to getting my craft ideas organized and situated in New York City. I'm hoping to have just like a new vibe going forward and that kind of thing. So where I am at now from my previous video, if you watched part 1 of me announcing my move, I'm way more at ease. I've talked with my friends. I've had some going away dinners. I'm a week out from moving now, and I have just gotten a better handle on everything. I would say 2 things that I've come to terms with doing that. I'm not focusing on social media, but I also am. So I mean that to say, in my Instagram, I'm not focusing on like likes, follows, interactions, engagement, because that really takes up like so much of your creative like time and your creative like mindset of like, I should be crocheting, but I need to engage. I love engaging, and I have a really nice community, as I've said, but I've really just kind of taken a step back for me so that I don't get too overwhelmed with like, did I spend the right amount of time engaging, or did I respond to every comment and all this? So I've taken a little step back just for my own mental space, as well as I also have spent time on social media because I did just join TikTok. I joined TikTok before. I'm sorry, it's not for me, but at the same time, I have rejoined, and I will tell you why. I have rejoined because I think it is a great platform for understanding and learning trends, audio trends, what people are doing, what the latest like style of reel is, or whatever. So I have joined it to learn trends, as well as I do understand like why people like it. Like, you get instant gratification of like, you always have a follower, you always have a like, you always have a comment, whereas like sometimes on the other platforms, it just goes very unseen. So I do understand that. But let's talk more about crochet design. Something that I'm really looking forward to in moving to New York City is focusing on a collection. I'm very interested as a crochet designer and crocheter for over 10 years now in forming a collection of my own. Ideally, it would be some kind of like beachwear, vacation wear, and I really enjoy like a kind of 1960s mod, bright color, geographic shapes kind of era. That's kind of my thing. So I'll show you some things that I want to take on the road with me, show you some yarns I have upcoming that I want to use for this collection, and just show you some of my favorites, really, because if you're like me, you just kind of have all this yarn, you've made a bunch of things that you don't really know where to focus, like, and I want to take you with me because maybe we can just relate on that. So okay, if anybody has suggestions on a great tripod that they use, please let me know, because just in turning this one around, this one has like fallen over and totally spilled my coffee. So if anybody has great suggestion on some like filming equipment, please let me know in the comments, because I'm going to be ordering that as soon as possible. So let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm sorry, like the reason I'm whispering is because I'm filming this while like my family's at home, my husband's at home in the other room, and I'm just trying not to be too like all in the way. Like I said, we're moving, things are in boxes, as well as my yarn stash, as ugly as it is right now, is in the closet. Like, it's literally in the middle of the hallway in the closet. So this is what I'm having to deal with. So let me actually show you how I like to store my yarn with a limited amount of space. Number 1, I like to store my yarn in plastic baggies. So all of these are in plastic baggies. My favorite way to do it, I'm going to grab something right here, some yarn scraps. Like, I've been holding on to my yarn scraps. I saw this over a year ago as like a sustainable thing to do, is to keep your yarn scraps and use them to stuff things if you're going to make like a plushie. And So that's what I have here. This is like over a year old. I've just been like gathering yarn scraps at every point, and they are in a plastic baggie. A 2-gallon size plastic baggie. You can get these on Amazon. They're really awesome. They're bigger than just the 1-gallon size, and you can put a whole project in here. I have the yarns I'm using as well as the different granny squares I've made. Of course, I have ideas for where this is going. It just hasn't gotten there yet. So this has been in a baggie for honestly 2 years. But I sometimes like to also put just like a note in there, like a sticky note with what I have in mind, like my idea, my design idea. That one's either going to turn into a blanket, or I'm going to try to take it a step further and turn it into a fun like garment dress. Let's see where that goes. This one, I honestly want to take this bag of granny squares with me on the road. It's something I have in mind to work on like sooner than later. My thing with a travel project is this is going to be a bunch of individual pieces that ideally will, like the other one, either be a blanket or a garment, and I need to lay it out and put them in rows, so you know, like 6x7 kind of granny square type things. This is just acrylic yarn made with a colorful mocktail by Hobby Yarns. They're beautiful little granny squares that I've made. They're like flowers in the center, and I just have in mind to make a granny stitch showing as you go with these squares, but we'll see how these turn out. As you can see from me, a lot of my things are project based. These are African flowers, one of my absolute favorite makes in crochet ever, and this is just made with a friend's wool, and I've done it in different colors in the middle that are mainly just from scrap yarns. So my trick for just getting some really interesting color combinations is using scrap yarns. And I introduce to you my scrap yarns. Okay, so these are like colors that are just left over from years and years of making stuff, and I just wind them into little balls. They're all different sizes, and what I love to make with these, there's a bunch of African flowers here. You can see how many I have. They're all different like shapes and sizes. I make them with these scrap yarns that are all various fibers, and then I outline them with this friend's wool. I just find these to be a really like muted, pretty color palette to outline all of my colorful squares with. So that's one like thing that I do in my craft closet, is I keep all of these little balls just in a basket, and then at one point on a rainy day in the winter, I'm just going to start remaking African flowers, and that's how that project came to be. So this one I would really like to work on. Like I said, they're all in 2-gallon Ziplocs, and this one is a combination of twister yarn, which is cotton. I love using cotton. It's my favorite fiber at all times of year. It is a lightweight, 1 or 2 fine cotton, and I'm combining it with a Friends 8/4 cotton print, and I'm making granny squares with these. I'm making granny squares and outlining them in this burgundy color. My idea is to make a duster with those. I don't think that's going to be my travel project, but I'm just taking you through my like messy, fabulous yarn stash right now. So please let me know if you have any comments for like, I don't know, how to even start. What do you take on the road? Do you start something new? Do you pick up something old? I don't want to take something that's going to have too much color work, because you know how it is, like you just have like yarn strings all over the place and all your colors are tangled up and that kind of thing. So that's what I have in mind. This is my little bag where I keep all of my hooks and tools. Like it's just so special to me. I don't know why. I got it a long time ago. My husband gave it to me when we first started dating, and it has all of my hooks and everything in it. This is my crochet bag. It just is. So it's so nice to just be able to like grab that bag out and say, this is it. Like this is what I'm working on. It's already ready to go. Just talk to you about some things I'm coming, really exciting on the horizon. I don't know what my space is going to look like in New York City yet. So many of my friends are asking me like, do you have an apartment? Like, do you have a space? I am going to be living directly in the city, most likely downtown. I lived downtown before when I was in New York, and I really loved it. And it's the part of town I know. I really enjoy it. So that's where I'm hoping to find an apartment. And so I don't know what my space is going to look like. One thing that I'm hoping for in New York over London is some more natural light. I've been really struggling with that on my platform and with my creative juices in London. So I'm hoping for some more light in New York City. But one thing that I have upcoming is I'm meeting up with a fellow crocheter. We have reached out and met each other via Instagram. Kat and I actually have done a series together once before. It's going to be premiering on my page. I will link it below. But we are going to meet up in real life in London. I'm so looking forward to it. Can't wait to like talk all things crochet with another girl who's just like, you know, like dealing with the same things that I am in crochet design and fashion trends and making art and patterns, pattern writing. Please let us know in the comments below what you want to hear us talk about as crocheters in real life, because we're going to be meeting up. I think this time we're going to be talking about pattern writing specifically, as well as some upcoming ideas for collaborations that we can have. So let us know in the comments below. Can't wait to meet up with her. I think it's going to be so fun to grab a coffee. Our plan is to do like a day in the life of crochet. So we are going to like film our journey there. I'll take you guys guys on the tube with me. I will show you where we're going to meet up, as well as we're obviously going to be chatting and hopefully sharing that video with you soon. So let us know, like, do you like a day in the life of crochet? Do you like talking about crochet design? Do you like talking about how to crochet and stitches and things like that? Or do you like just sitting here with a cup of coffee and like just venting and having something to listen to for a few minutes in your day while you're working on a project? So let us know in the comments below. I'd love to take you along with us for the ride. So I will be filming some behind the scenes of the flight. I'm taking my cat with me, Marmalade. She's going to be flying with us, and maybe a little bit of behind the scenes of Toronto and Niagara Falls before we make it to New York City. So please let me know what you want to hear about in the next video, and I can't wait to chat with you more. Thanks for watching.